Kazushi Sakuraba, Takeda, Hickson Gracie, compel me to return with another FireSide chat. Greetings and salutations. I am sorry for the absence. It is time to break down UFC Fight Night, Song vs. Gutierrez. This card has a host of names of very varying talent. Looking up and down this card, we see a fight from last week at a new weight. A woman who has dyed her hair to try and convince us that she doesn't quit in fights. And two atom weights, natural atom weights, fighting at female flyweight. Because the UFC and the world does not accept atom weight. Tatsuro Taira, yet again, with a safe matchup. Can Hernandez overcome? And Andre Muniz, will you fade in round 3? Yet another late replacement main event. Late replacement co-main event. Are they doing this intentionally? And even a late replacement co-main event. Why do you bet early? Why do you pick early? Why is there a side early? There is no early. There is now. Weigh-ins have happened. Let's begin. Much love to anyone watching. Ryan Amanda Dos Santos versus Talita Alencar. Two natural atomweights fighting at flyweight, one of which has shown an ability to go the distance in ring time over someone whose only tested fight went to a draw because she death gassed after the first round. What are we to judge after such an occurrence? You have to pick Ryan Amanda. I cannot bet no cardio. Always bet cardio. I will not spend too much time. No play here. Tatsuro Taira, Carlos Hernandez. Crazy favorite Tatsuro Taira. With yet another fairly soft matchup that plays to his strengths in a Carlos Hernandez, who got death strangled by an Alan Nascimento, who mysteriously fell off of this card in a matchup he was destined for greatness. We have to go with the building fighter of Tatsuro Taira. Taking it the Baku in the rear naked choke. Stephanie Egger, Luana Santos. Luana Santos, I believe, missed weight or chose not to try to make weight. Both looking fairly underwhelming on the scales, you could say. Stephanie Egger, of which dyed her hair. Who are we to trust a woman changing her identity? Is she a new mother? No. Is she someone who you can never trust? Maybe. But Stephanie Egger with black hair. And Luana Santos, who know make weight. I pass. But I can never trust Stephanie Egger, except when I think she is going to absolutely lose. So anyone on her side, she is destined to win this fight. Steve Garcia, Metzakel Costa, up a weight class, lightweight, both made weight, both sized up well. Steve Garcia with the fight-ending power. Glass cannon, Metzakel Mez Costa, technician, forward fighter. Steve Garcia find the chin in the fight. Metzakel Costa find the chin in the fight. Why not just play inside distance and no side? Hyung Sung Park, Shannon Ross. Shannon Ross, beefy man. And I'm not sure why I have this overwhelming identity of the Asian card right now, but let's go with it. Hyung Sung Park, Shannon Ross. Looking at them facing off, I get weird vibes that Shannon Ross is going to beat this guy. I don't like the competition. I don't like the limited aspect of Hyung Sung Park in his competition. I think, weirdly, because I picked Shannon Ross in his last fight and he just gets donked in the first round, that he's going to get one. I know for a fact they want to give him a win. In Hyung Sung Park, they're trying to, of course, get into the Asian market. You know, it's not, they don't always need every Asian fighter to win to do that or to accomplish that task. It maybe isn't the layup matchup that we think it is. Shannon Ross might put up some resistance and implement his game. And hopefully, for his sake and his story, I would like for him to win this fight. It's an amazing price. Oh my God. So you can't go Hyung Sung Park. I'm not a believer. Like, until anyone's tested really at this level, I'm just not going to auto pick them, especially at that price. So, you know, you got to pick the 4.25 underdog, Shannon Ross, to get it done. Obviously, if you're picking a side outright, the safer option would be to pick the guy that hasn't been KO'd twice in the first round and is undefeated, of course. So, topology pick, maybe you just go with that to be safe. Make sure you get your points in. Kenan Song, Kevin Doucette. I gotta go Kenan Song, especially after the face-off. That convinced me. It's one of my plays this card for sure. At first I thought Doucette might just be too dynamic for Song. But Song's battle tested, even if he's kind of an aging fighter. I mean, looking at it, 33, being 38, I really don't think he's old at all. He's very young. I remember at 33, I still felt like I was 23 and I could compete it like it. So, can't count that out. The way he fought against Bedoya's legitimate and convincing here. Kevin Doucette, was getting tagged up a little bit by Crosby before he just fell over and gave himself up. So Song most likely doesn't do that unless he's hurt bad standing. It's a fist fight, anything can happen, but I gotta go with Song here. This is one of those fights, I think, they have someone that has a little tenure and they can get exposure with this to that audience. So someone can maybe donk Giuseppe's fragile, tiny chin in this one and win some moments or knock him out. Andre Muniz, Jun Young Park, lock of the card, Jun Young Park. His style just seems problematic, and I'm convinced he's going to just march through the range of Muniz and just force maybe even a scrambling style fight in the clinch with repeated takedowns that Muniz either gives up or is forced to scramble and really work to get out of. Otherwise, he either lose minutes against the cage, he gets taken down, of course. I mean, Jun Young Park, seen enough of his ground game, maybe not against the level of Muniz, but a fist fight changes your level of grappling compared to pure grappling competition. And just Jacare and some of the work he's done on the ground against, guys like, I just can't remember his name off the top of my head, Uriah Hall. I just felt bad for Uriah Hall. He's never there mentally, so to speak. He's never seemed like he loved fighting and knew how to be the fighter he needed to be to succeed and, really get paid. Maybe he got paid a little bit, but, I'll never say to anyone's potential because, maybe that is their potential at the end of the day. So Andre Muniz, is his potential backpacking a completely MMA faded Uriah Hall? I mean, we'll see. So Jun Young Park going to win this fight. And on to the next. Nasrat Haqparast, Jamie Malarkey. Initially, I picked Nasrat Haqparast. Jamie Malarkey, man, he's super tough. He let me down the other day, He let me down. He got chinned by an absolute can. Nasrat Haqparast. I feel like I pick against him every single time he fights. I'm trying not to use mid since mid is so popular, but Haqparast is the definition of mid. Jamie Malarkey is the definition of mid. Who do I want, really? Betting-wise, I don't want anybody. Maybe just the over. It seems so safe. You're just counting on Jamie Malarkey not randomly getting KO'd and vice versa. So, whatever that chance is what you're betting against, I guess. And then you have Sumaderji, Tim Elliott. However, if you wanted to side, I just would pick Nasrat Haqparast because he will be quicker. He will most likely land the cleaner shots. Same time, Malarkey can overwhelm him with output. I pick against Haqparast with Bobby Green. That felt really good. To just have something turn out the way you think it will. Is Jamie Malarkey as good as Bobby Green right now? Maybe he is. So maybe that's a side. Does he just go out and KO Grant Dawson right now? Maybe he does. It's just weird. He stays competitive with old men like Michael Johnson. Still has dynamite, right? And then Nasrat Haqparast, of course, the narrative is he keeps everything close. So I'll let each in their own look into the statistics of like their striking output. But I just see Nasrat being a little cleaner. Maybe, ducking and angling his way in to land the clean shots, hooks, things that are going to disrupt Malarkey and maybe stun him a little bit. And he looked good against Quinones. Probably picked against him. I really forget that. It was probably forgettable because it's Nasrat Haqparast. No offense, man. Seems like a great person. But he just reminds me of a smaller version, of course, of Kevin Gastelum. Let's just go on to the next. I'm kind of rambling about this fight. But let's just go Nasrat. All right? Let's just not be too crazy here. Sumaderji, Tim Elliott. You got to be wise to Tim Elliott's submission in this fight. Of course, it's so statistically obvious. Sumaderji only loses by submission. Pick Matt Schnell, won big. That felt so good. That fight was insane to watch, just being on the Schnell side. He was out so many times standing. He's a warrior, shit like that makes you really respect somebody. Not that my respect matters to Matt Schnell or anything like that, but him beating Sumaderji felt amazing. So I'm inclined to think Sumaderji has to have improved and learned. He's a young fighter. He has a lot of tape on Tim Elliott and Tim Elliott's weak points in his game. But I have no faith in Sumaderji to be able to resist Tim Elliott's grappling. Why? Unless Tim Elliott just fights like an idiot, gets caught standing, and I guess that's the risk you're willing to take. So Tim Elliott on short notice, no real game plan, knows what he needs to do. Is he just that many levels over Sumaderji? I think he can be. It just seems really easy. You can coax him into boxing. He's heavy front foot. You can angle off, get the single, drive him to the cage, work your game, take him down, exposes his back on the get up, something of those sorts. Take his back, backpack him, choke him out. Sumaderji has had to have trained grappling and known his weakness from that fight and how he lost it. But the thing is, he's known that every single time he's got submitted. So why would he all of a sudden change who he is as a fighter? So he's shown me, fool me once, fool me twice. Tim Elliott should win this fight outright. I don't think I want to bet him. I don't trust him. So no real play for me, but Tim Elliott would be my pick by submission, maybe the second or third round. If he really hates bonuses, maybe he just goes to a decision, and then UFC doesn't re-sign him because he should submit Sumaderji if he's taking him down and backpacking him or whatever. You never know. Derek Lewis played corpse guard for 5 rounds against Jailton Almeida, so you never know. Anthony Smith, Khalil Roundtree Jr. Just seeing Wayne ends. Khalil Roundtree's got to show up at this stage of his career. Anthony Smith seems checked out. Still technical, still knows how to fight, obviously. Will still have some will left unless Khalil just blasts him, takes it from him. Looks like a killer, man. I want to trust Khalil here. Let's just go Khalil Roundtree Jr., first round knockout. Set up to win. Set up to talk about depression and overcoming. And I respect that. because depression hits everyone in life at any given moment, because loss is a motherfucker. But even if you have not felt loss, maybe you can also respect something like a condition, depression. I used to work in psychiatry, administrative. I'm not a psychologist. I wanted to be at one point. Long road, different life. But Khalil Roundtree, he's got this. Good story. Yadong Song, Chris Gutierrez. I want to think Yadong Song uses Chris Gutierrez's leg kicks, which he will be expecting, to step inside, land something, or take him down. Land ground and pound. I don't like what Gutierrez showed too much against Pedro Munoz. It took a little trust away from me, because Munoz seems slowing down to me, even though he's been pulling it off. I don't know. He pulled it off against Gutierrez. I guess that's just it in the past 2 years, but his other win was in 2019. So don't feel good about that when Pedro Munoz is beating your up-and-coming talent at this point. I gotta think Yadong Song is gonna take this one. Gotta finish the fight. He doesn't have to finish the fight. I just think he will finish the fight. He's easily fought miles better competition. Has a lot more cage time. Ricky Simone fight seals it in my mind that this guy is maybe destined to hold the title for a fight or two. I would not mind at all if Song came into the title just in the next fight. Maybe he beats Peter Yan somehow. Because the benchmark is beating Peter Yan for the title, because he held it for beating washed Aldo. I mean, Aldo still beat some guys, but those guys, not champions, of course, not champion level, but a champion level fighter at their prime is always going to beat a past their prime Jose Aldo. That is, of course, still Jose Aldo. Anyway, I'm not going to talk too much on that. Song Yadong, knockout, maybe even submission. You got to think. I'm not convinced even that Gutierrez can't get submitted by Song. I mean, if the line is wide, especially, that would be worth a legitimate shot. Tony Barcelos, Song Yadong, I don't know if they fought. They have not. But if they did fight, what do you think happens to Tony Barcelos? Frank's KO'd, right? I think so. Maybe so. MMA math, right? Works all the time. Anyway. It's been a pretty good year. Just remember, don't fret the bad stuff. A new day comes tomorrow. Variance happens. Sometimes our locks are not the locks we thought they are. Puñete soleado. Point determined. Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed yourself. I know I did. Have a good one. And I'll see you again on another Fireside.